All right. So, on a more serious note, this week has been one of the most tragic things I've been able to witness. I witnessed a father have to fight every emotion on the planet, stay by himself, because I know if I had lost my son, I could only imagine the mental torture I would have been putting myself through. And for those who don't know, Francis Ngannou lost his son a couple months ago, tragically. We don't know exactly what happened, but all we know is that Kobe, the young kid of 5 months, died suddenly in the middle of the night. And Francis basically had no choice but to take this all in and deal with it one step at a time. And throughout this entire situation, he had a fight with one of his opponents who made the irresponsible comment of saying that Francis's toughest battle was not going to be him losing his son, but was going to be battling him. And I think like that was just so distasteful and like it was a legal beatdown, bro. Like my man, like if you I'm gonna insert the footage here, but I'm telling you right now, that was a pure legal down, bro. Like, what do you think?
I mean, yeah, we could put in the footage or people can look it up themselves. Not saying I'm lazy.
You don't want to, yeah, we don't want to
Like,
be responsible for that.
it's not only that, um, it's the point. But
Uh,
anyways, like, I don't know. It's for those of you that don't know, he's a UFC fighter. So put in the context. But yeah, they kind of have someone throw salt in the wound, so to speak, and call out your child. That's a few things where it's just like that's a low blow.
Very.
Um, and I would probably be down the same way in the guy and being like, why would you bring that up?
Mhm.
Like it's just frustrating that people would disrespect another fighter in that kind of aspect. Like at the end of the day, you guys are rivals, but it's your job and it's kind of for you to come out and like say something about your child or whatnot, or like there's
Something
some
wrong with people, bro.
yeah, and
Like,
like
didn't y'all learn with Khabib? Certain things are off limits, bro. People actually take this shit seriously. Did y'all not learn?
I mean, it's a question of care. It's like maybe he thought that was a good tactic to get him off his rope, but again, it's just like that just makes you a dirty fighter.
Like, bro,
Because
like I don't have the greatest relationship with my father because of the fact of distance. It's not the fact of like we don't talk or anything like that. It's just the fact that he lives in Jamaica, I live in Canada. And it's hard to have like a true communication when it's just through the phone.
and long distance stretches are expensive,
You're
so
damn right. But it's one of those things where like I could never imagine, like me as a father, I could never imagine losing my dad or like losing my son and then have somebody talk badly about them after I just went through that. Like I couldn't fathom that, like the anger and the overall emotions that Francis must have been having to go through a press conference, having to listen to all of that and then having to be replayed every day when they're playing that crap for intros and promotions. Like that must have been hell, man. Like pure and unadulterating hell.
I mean, everybody deals with grief in different aspects, right? Like, um, I think it would be just difficult to focus on any job if you were kind of going through those kind of turmoils, and that's a given for any person. I think the thing that was just a trigger was someone saying ill about it. Because again, this is like you wouldn't get that at work. It's not this like, bro,
Yeah.
like you wouldn't antagonize by your peers and being like, "Oh, sorry for your loss," da, 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 but it's just like, "Da, da, da, da," right? So unless somebody wants to kind of get under your skin, it's just like that's when they're gonna come after it. It's just like people do that all the time, right? It's just like, "Yo, fuck your mom, and your mom's this and that, da, da, da," right? And it's just like, people do that, but I don't know. It's I guess when it comes to relationship, it seems like he had a good relationship with his family, and he's a very family oriented person. So to
Very
have that
grounded, yeah.
loss, it's just like it is very sad. Um,
I
it-
mean, the way I look at it is like I can't speak to Francis's situation, but I can speak to the relationships we both have with our fathers.
mm,
And in the sense that like my situation, my father is so far away, it's harder to have a relationship with him. So I could only imagine, like my father almost went through what Francis went through. Like for those who don't know, I got hit by a truck when I was 16 years old, and my father almost witnessed me die.
mm,
So like I can understand that freaked out dichotomy because I've never seen my father that scared before when I until looked into his eyes when I was at the hospital. Like I saw the absolute level of fear that man had in his eyes when he almost lost his son. And I can compartmentalize that and understand that fear because it's the same fear I have whenever my son leaves and walks outside the house. Like without me protecting him, I don't know what's out there and what could affect him. So I can only imagine the pain Francis is going through and having to think about it. He's probably blaming himself to some degree, saying that he didn't protect him. He's probably putting all of these things into his own head because those are the things I think about even about my own son. Like I just don't know like how you bounce back from that and how do you create balance in yourself when you lose somebody like that that's so important to you?
I don't know. I mean, any advice that I give kind of would make me sound like a soulless bastard. So it's kind of one of those things where it's tough because, like I said, everybody agrees differently, and no parent wants to bury their son or daughter. No one wants to go through loss. I don't know many people who wake up and it's just like today's a good day to lose someone I care about. So
Hmm.
it's very hard to kind of have that conversation. Like me personally, I wouldn't be cool with like there's certain people that I can deal with, unfortunately, with their passing. Like I'm not a fan of death.
Hmm.
Like I will attend a funeral, but I'd rather be anywhere but a funeral, right? Like I don't like that notion of absolute loss and stuff like that because I not only feel bad for the people around them, and if there's somebody who influences myself, like I lost one of my good friends when she was 13, she had brain cancer, and it's one of those things. And like there's a little bit of remorse that goes through the fact that I didn't visit her in the hospital, but it's one of those things where like she actually asked me not to go because like we had a relationship where she's like, like um we had a lot of good memories
Hmm.
with each other, so the last thing that she wanted me to see her is suffering. That's what she
Yeah.
told me, right?
Hmm.
Like she took like when I
Do you
offered to
take
come to,
solace in that though?
you know what, now a little bit more so, but when I was a kid, there was a lot of regret and remorse on that aspect because of the fact that it's just like I should have like just saw her and um maybe just been there to comfort her and be like, hey, you know what, this is about you right now because of the fact that you're going through these struggles. But like when you're a kid, it's just like, again, not a big fan of death. So I was kind of like, okay, I don't want to be around that. So I appreciate that. And then at the same token, it's just like, I thought it was the most honorable thing to be like, let me fulfill her request
Mm.
by being like, let me remember you when you were able bodied. Let me
Yeah,
remember you when,
at your best.
like when we're riding bikes and like competing with each other, like academically, be like, I got an A, I got an A plus, I,
Mm.
I got, 98, I got a 99. Like we were rivals. And I know a lot of people when she passed away, they saw the effects of me academically because like I just didn't want to participate in school and I didn't really have that drive for a little bit because I lost my
You lost your Cody, bro. You lost the person
well,
you
yeah,
cared about.
we kind of had like a Vegeta Goku thing going on where it's just like every time it's just like, she pushed me to be a little bit better because of the fact that I was just like I wanted to be able to keep up. But yeah, no, like I said, everyone deals with scenarios like that differently, and there's different people that affect them either, because it's just like everybody has people that are important to them.
Yeah.
And for someone to sit here and say, I would not know what it's like to lose my insert person here, you can't because sometimes those importance are interchangeable, right? Like some people have a better relationship with friends or family members as
Big
opposed
facts.
to their parents or even their children, right? Like
Mhm.
there's people who like freaking disown their kids and then it's just like, yeah,
Mm.
if they passed away, they'd be like,
That's
certainly did
facts.
right.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's hard. But
Depends on the relationship. You
yeah,
are correct.
exactly. But going back to the UFC scenario, like I think it was a good correlation. It's kind of one of those things where it's just like a lot of people saw that and they're like, yeah, he was driven by it. So it's kind of like, don't poke the bear, man.
Don't do it.
Like
I mean, for
regardless.
me, my final thoughts on the whole entire thing is like, I'm a person still dealing with grief. I can almost understand what Francis is going to some degree. I don't know what it's like to lose a child other than miscarriage for myself. Like, I know what that longingness and that bond that you create in your head and then not having the ability to touch or hold that person breaks you. It still breaks me to this day. Like, I still wake up in the middle of the night thinking about my mom.
Mm.
So I can only imagine what it's like for him. 15, you know, that kind of being close to somebody and then losing them. That shit hurts.
Yeah, so definitely like whoever's out there listening out of our hundreds of fans and whatnot, like don't take my stoic nature for granted, right? Like it's just one of these things where it's just like in order to kind of get through this and not kind of like right? It's just, you know, I saw something good today. Um ironically it was Andrew Garfield on Sesame Street. No,
No, but I love Garfield. So I respect him.
so, he was highlighting the fact that he was just like, I miss my mom today and all that shit stuff. And Alma was consoling him. And he was just like, you know what? It's okay for you to be sad. But at the same token, you're happy because missing a person reminds you of all the good that that person did for you and the people around them. And it's an opportunity for you to kind of relive those moments and just kind of be thankful that you had that individual to influence your life. So what I can probably say, the individual question, I forget his name. I'm bad with names. Um, you know what? Like he'll reach a point where he'll find solace in the fact that, he had a bundle of joy and those opportunities where it's just like the first noise, the first time he looked at him, the first time he grabbed his finger and all that sort of stuff. Like it's unfortunate that their journey was cut short, but there's still opportunities there where he's like, hey, you know what, I can reminisce. And there's gonna be hard because there's gonna be other opportunities where he's just like, that could have been my child, that could have been that opportunity with it. But like we as humans, we live life in a series of moments and experiences and stuff like that. And we shouldn't be fearful in creating them with people because, you know, we should be able to connect with more people and stuff like that, and like we're all ultimately going to be subjugated to that loss.
You know?
And it's better to have as many moments with people that you care about, friends, family, significant others, that kind of stuff, so you can live with them.
Yeah.
And they exist in your memories, so they're never really 100% gone, and they're definitely things that you should cherish. So again, if you've ever gone through loss, seek solace in the fact that you had that time with that individual, and also, take time to make sure that you're good too, right? Whether or not it's whatever coping mechanism that is healthy, because we don't want people starting to
Mm,
do inappropriate things, but take time to connect with those things that make you feel happy and allow you to honor
mm.
the loss in the best manner forward, because again, like you're only good as the company you keep, and you're only as good as the people you represent. So like, don't scuttle those people that you lost by being like degenerate and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like, someone talk shit
Still
about
watching.
someone talk shit about your people.
You know what I mean? They're still watching now.
Give them the beat down. They deserve
I
it.
mean, for me, it's like I just have one small thing, just like you said, I'm gonna piggyback off of it. Every time I get that pain in my chest, every time like them tears start, it's me remembering the person who was closest to me and why they meant so much to me. I keep that pain, I keep it close to me. Why? Because the memory, that pain is attached to that memory. I don't want it to ever leave me because I don't want to ever forget the person who I'm so close to. Francis, I understand. I'm with you. You'll see your son again soon, one day. Till next time. Shit, we made it through 4 full episodes. Goals.